Okay, good morning everyone. So I'll start already. So just hold on. Rachel, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, it's very clear, Aaron.
All right, thank you. Okay, so wait, why there's a hello? Just, all right, so let's start. Okay, so hold on. Okay, all right. Okay. So, for today's topic, okay, so everyone knows me already. So, yeah, all right. So, I'll just move here. So, today's objectives will be how we can increase FTP with the help of technology and how to race in Swift, change your mindset, numerical goal setting versus do yourself, and pre-race routines and a lot more. So, let's go on and dive in. So, but we'll go first to how can you race efficiently in Zwift. So, first thing, first tip that I have learned is the best way to get a good position is you go there as early as possible. So log in before the time that is set, 35 minutes. So what I do, I prepare everything, start warm up the the Swift software, set up everything, ensure there's no issues with connection because technology is sometimes unpredictable. So that's what I do. I log in early, warm up. So what I do is as soon as I get in and I see the prompt that you log in and it tells you to join the races, I click the join in the event. Then I do my warm up in the starting line. So I use my Garmin watch. I save the workout there and I follow it in the in my watch. Then the main thing there is you will be placed in front, especially if it's a big race, regardless, a big race, then you will be in front of the starting line. So you don't it's easier for you to latch on to the group that you want to be in. The second tip is so 5 seconds before the gun time. So gun time, you'll have to start spinning harder. 5 seconds before the gun time, you spin hard. Then hold on. Hold on until you can latch on to the group that you want to be in. So it takes 1 or 2 minutes, sometimes longer, but you just have to hold and hold it. Then if you would see corners in Swift, so spin higher, give more power. So that what will happen is it will give you a bit of a slingshot, so it will push you forward into the group. Then ease off and draft. Second thing is another tip is on the apex of a hill. So this is a hill. Apex is the one on top. So climb, then you push hard going down. So it will help you push the momentum. Then you draft and record, but don't push so hard. You just have to give it a kick, and that's it. Then next, hills will be hills. You just have to hold and draft because this is where no, you cannot draft on uphill, but this is you just have to hold on to someone's wheel And Zwift will tell you, like, it will give you 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter. So you have to bridge the gap. That's the most important thing. Then, when you're drafting, Zwift, if you would notice, so what I have observed when I was racing is I notice myself I'm sitting up, and sometimes I'm on my drop bars. So I look into it, and apparently it's a visual cue from Swift telling you that you're in a drafting position. So this is what I have observed. So this is the one. So draft as much as possible. Then, but the virtual cue is not applicable when you're using your Tron bike. So it's one of the disadvantage of having the Tron bike. So you won't be able to know if you're really drafting. And if you're moving at 30 kph or more, your avatar is sitting up, you are in the draft. If you're a hunch down position in the drafts, you are out of the draft and probably working harder than what you want to be. So these are some of the tips and tricks that you can do while racing in Swift. So for me, I learned this to watching some of my teammates in Badass e-cycling team and from my own experience. Then, okay. Next objective of our session today would be change of mindset and numerical goal setting. So when I say change of mindset, most of us are afraid or we put glass ceiling. So what happens is you're you would know that once you reach that, you will hold back. You will ease off your effort. You will get scared. You might feel that you're gonna explode. So what I would suggest is use RPE instead of your FTP when you're racing. So for example, you know that at 200 watts, for example, your FTP is 200 watts, you know that that's your FTP and you can hold that for X amount of time. But that's not the case. What I want you to do is to fine tune your RPE and use your RPE as your main metrics when you race. Assuming like this. For example, on a good day, you woke up, you sleep well, everything is perfect. 200 watts feels like RPE 5. So what will you do? Will you hold 200 watts or you will push your RPE until you reach RPE 7? Second scenario is you woke up, you have a headache, you feel bad, everything is not in line. RP 200 feels like RPE 5. 200 watts feels RPE 9 already. So you have to scale down your RPE. Then you have to reduce the power, basically. But on a good day, do not focus on your RPE. Hold on to your, sorry, do not focus on the FTP, but hold on to the RPE. If if at 200 your FTP and it's just 5, push until you reach RPE 7. That's how you want. All right? So just change of mindset. FTP and heart rate are metrics, are guides. Okay? Heart rate is related to your FTP, your RPE. But if you feel good and it doesn't feel really bad or it's not that painful, so be it. Just hold on. Hold. Hold to your RPE. So next. So here, I will share with you on this is an experiment that we did in class. So these are numbers, okay? Wall setting. So one of this one of these numbers is mine. I don't know what number was I. Am I during the classroom experiment? So there were 21 students. So the first what do you call this? The goal of the experiment was to see what is better when you want to set a goal. setting your goal just to do your best, or setting your goal and have a specific number in mind. Specific, so numerical goal setting. It's not like, okay, I'll do my best today, or versus I will I aim to beat my time by 5 minutes. So that's what it's something like that. Okay. So what we found out, okay, so these are all the numbers of the students that did it. So this is the first one. The first test is here. So 1 minute. This is the pre-test. 1 minute and 11. Then our professor said, okay, and now I want you to do your best. That was the stimulus. So these are the improvement time. This person improved 34 minutes, sorry, 34 seconds. Here, 45 seconds. Here, 3 seconds. Most of the people here, there's no improvements. And in fact, some of them, they regress. They didn't improve at all. Then, the second group, the other group, Group B, same thing, the same thing, but then the our professor gave us a specific target. He said, beat your previous time by 30 seconds, something better. Then he added more treats, like for example, think of it as like you will pass the you will pass the whole semester if you do better. And here is the improvements. Okay, I will show you a statistical record for that one. Sorry, just hold on. Oopsie, just hold on, please. Okay, so here, this is the this is the average of the do your best group, and this is the do your best group average of improvement of a numerical goal setting. So 61 seconds improvement overall. 69, I mean, sorry. And this is the references of our study. So it's best if you have a goal, set a number. How crazy it could be, just set a number. If you have a watts FTP target, set a number. It could be crazy, it doesn't matter. It could be, for example, you want 300 watts as your FTP. Set it, write it down, visualize it, and just let the process of you reaching that take care of it. Don't worry about it. If you want to have a weight, you don't say your lightest weight. No, you put a target weight. If you want 60 kilos, you write 60 kilos. That's how you want it. Okay. Next, pre-race routines. Now, routines. So, and others. Okay, Rach, you have any questions? No. All right, very good. Okay, so just hold on. Let me see. All clear. All right. So now we go to routines. We as humans are creatures of routine. We want consistency. We want what do you call this, structure, and it is one of the best way to be improving. And as we all know, consistency is key. So now routines is, so for example, so I have a pre-race routine and I will share it. So if you have one, just send it to me. You can PM to me directly and we can fix it together. Just hold on. Hold on. Just want to check if anyone is in there. Okay. All right. So now we'll go back to pre-race. So this is my pre-race morning routine. So this I normally do it now when I have a Zwift race. So it's a list of things that I do to help me reach my peak performance for that day. So it's a list. It's uh, it's a routine that I do very regularly. So I eat my breakfast, yogurt and berries, black coffee. In 90 minutes before the race, I eat a cup of oatmeal with almond butter, salt, and honey. Just a cup. Then I then there's another then whatever is left, I'm gonna use that as my post race meal. Then 45 minutes before Swift, I start preparing. I set up my bike, I set up my computer, set up my fans, set up everything. Then I start doing my warm up. Then I drink another coffee. Then I stick my happy face on my computer. Then start to brace myself. It will be painful. It will be hard. Then I'm just going to wait for instructions from our race director. So, but this is my personal thing. So now I'm sharing this so that you can have your own. If you don't have one, I would suggest you get one, prepare one. This will help you elicit and like bring out the best peak performance you have that you could have each day. But you need to prime. You need to prime the body, you need to prime your mind so that it will come out. It's not by luck that it will just pop out and that's it. No. You have to prepare the body. That's how we get it. Okay? So now my question is most of the people have a pre-race routine. My next question would be do you have a pre-rest routine? Okay? Now, remember, why am I asking that? Remember, it's when we train, when we what do you call this? Weaken our body, our immune system goes down. It's not the time when we get strong. It's the time when we get weak. So it's when we sleep when we get stronger. So if we want to have a higher quality rest, sleep or recovery, we have to prepare our body to do it. All right? So, here's my pre sleep or pre sleep routine. So, this is just a template. You can adjust it accordingly. Depends on you. Again, this is different from person to person. So, you have to customize it. You can use this as a template. It's fine. So, So I ensure that I don't drink coffee 8 hours. So this will help those who works in what do you call this, who works in shifting schedules. Okay, so this will help them as well. Now, one thing is 8 hours because coffee stays in our system longer. But there are some people who process caffeine faster. So those people who drink coffee and as if they don't feel anything and they fall asleep. So they're something their bodies are their metabolism process lactate much faster and much better than most of us. So then alcohol, no alcohol 4 hours before your planned sleep. So for example, for me, I plan to sleep at 11 p.m. So I'll my last beer, if I want to drink beer, would be 4 hours before that. Then if I plan to sleep 11 p.m., no coffee, no coffee for me after before no coffee 8 hours before 11 a.m. 11 p.m. So you can just adjust it depending on your sleep schedule. Okay. Then um, this is the routines that I do. I read the paperback book, fiction much better, so nothing hard to read. Then you write, you journal it. Then if there's something that worries you, just list them down and do it the following day. Blue screen filters is now in our phones, so switch it on as early as you can. Then ensure bed is only for sleeping. Don't do it for playing, or don't do it for watching YouTube or anything. Just bed is for sleeping. That's it. And yes, for married couples, yeah. Then meditate. I meditate using Smiling Mind app. So if you have questions, just send me, PM me, then we can fine tune your sleep routines. Next would be using how we can increase FTP to help technology. So now there's a lot of ways to make it easier. So how to increase? Yeah. So biking. So remember, for us triathletes, one of the vital pieces is to have a strong bike for you to be able to run easier and show your real running prowess. Regardless of how strong you are as a runner, if you cannot have a good runoff, you won't be able to get a higher performance on a triathlon race. So basically, you want to have a higher bike FTP, or you want to be a super biker, so you can do your run and show your real running prowess on the bike, on the run. So this is just one of the training principles that I follow. So it's Seiler's hierarchy of endurance training. So whatever we do, volume is key. This is the base. Okay. Then high intensity, then training intensity distributions. Okay. And the rest are just the tip of the iceberg, as you can see. These three are the most important parts of a training session. Okay. So why should we focus on thresholds? Yeah, here, biggest determinant of racing success, foundation of your training zones, and it's a physiological tracker. It will tell us if you're progressing or regressing. So as a coach, I would always want to see you progress up, but sometimes due to work or sickness or something, you won't be able to progress as much as we want, but we want to maintain a certain baseline. So what threshold? Okay, just for a definition, threshold or FTP is described as the point or exercise intensity when uses energy source your body uses to fuel your activity changes significantly and measurably. So it's like there's an it's not so it's the point where your effort. So for example, let's say your FTP is 200. So there's a specific time where you can hold that, then it will go down. So that's what your threshold is. So I'm gonna show you some numbers, and some of you guys have seen this already, and I send it to you guys directly, especially if you have power. So okay, that will be on the following slides. But how do you get your right threshold? So there's ways. So the RAM test, the time trial, you go ride outside, or FTP test, or the inside metabolic testing, or you do a race in Zwift. So time trial, just go ride, uh, 20 minutes or 40 for the standard is 40 kilometers, 40-kilometer time trial ride. But for me personally, I don't like riding outside and doing a hard effort just because of the risks involved with that. So, okay, next. And the RAM test. Now, the RAM test in Zwift will be you'll be able to do this. So now the good thing with the RAM test is you can repeat it every time during your. It's less taxing as the 20-minute test, and you can do it repeatedly. Another one is the 20 minutes test. So you do your 20-minute test and get 95%, or there's some protocols that will pre-exhaust everything you have, and whatever you get on your 20-minute test is your actual FTP. Another test is now also in partnership with Swift, is the inside metabolic testing. So I've done this already, and you will just do everything. So now this is a complete metabolic test. It's not only your FTP, but it will also calculate how much carbs you need to take, how much fats you burn, how much carbs you burn at a specific number. It's not giving you a range, but it will give you a specific number. And now you can do this 100% indoor in Zwift. You just have to use the software. It's there, the ZMO file. It's like a game in Zwift. You just have to follow the instructions. One guy that uses this is Liner Sanders. He did it, and he has a YouTube video where he did I think 40 minutes or 30 minutes at sweet spot at low carb, and there's a specific reason why he was doing that. So now this, I borrowed this chart from one seminar, from one webinar I listened to. So it's from WKO, it's from Team Cusick. So this is your FTP. So this is how you build your FTP. Most of us initially, you only ride at we only ride at our endurance zone, okay? Or sometimes some athletes wants to go to their VO2 max ceiling immediately, VO2 max hard sessions immediately. But what you want to do is to build up your aerobic house first. So when you say aerobic, anything below your FTP. So this is endurance, this is your tempo sets, this is your sweet spot, this is your FTP efforts. As you continue, you will get bigger and bigger. So this is your FTP. You continue doing the basic, the sub-threshold efforts. As you get taller, once you once you maximize your aerobic training, that's now the only time you will do your VO2 max session. That's why there's a cycle. You would notice in your training program, there's a specific time in the cycle that you do VO2 max, and there's a specific time that you're doing tempo, sweet spot, and FTP efforts only. And there's a specific time as well that you need to be spending on them. I will show it to you later. So as you get taller, now we now need to pull the house bigger so that you will be able to grow more. So now here you see the house is getting bigger, the roof will be increasing. There you go. So now you'll now be able to build again. So from here, once the VO2 max is done, once we increase it, then we have to go back again to your tempo session, sweet spot training, to your FTP, then pull again. So that's the cycle. It's a continuous progressive cycle. So here's it. So base miles, this will be your endurance sessions. Then you progress, getting harder, higher FTP efforts. So sweet spot. So here shows us the power of sweet spot training. So what does it elicit, or what does it what do you call this? Help our body achieve. So most everything that we need is from we can get it from sweet spot training, but you cannot do sweet spot all the time. So but you still need to do your tempo sessions, your threshold efforts. Okay, then this is now a sample. Now you would see some of you, you will be seeing 200% of your time to exhaustion. So this is now what I was referring to earlier in Seiler's pyramid, time in zone. So you need to spend time on a specific intensity so that your total ride or your long ride would be contributing to the increase of your FTP. If you just ride mindlessly, you didn't focus on the power targets, that ride will not help contribute or will not help increase your FTP faster. Okay? So it's really important you follow what's written in your plan because it's specific for each individual. So, for example, here, when I say when you see that your TTE, TTE stands for this is your time to exhaustion. So this athlete can ride 33 minutes or 32 minutes and 29 seconds at their FTP before their efforts go down. So ideally, on your midweek ride, all right, you would like to spend 150% at either your tempo, your sweet spot, or your FTP. 200% will be your long rides. So now you will be adding. So this is 65 minutes. So this could be 11 10 6 sets of 11 minutes at tempo. Then there's a recovery in between. So that's athlete number 1. Athlete number 2, same thing. 33, 41, 1 hour 7. So the changes, the TTE is dependent on each individual. So some athletes will have different higher, what do you call this, longer TTE. But 200% is just the minimum. The higher you can be on your time in zone, the better. The faster you'll be able to reach your FTP targets. All right, so now I'm gonna share with you a case study. So this athlete, okay, so this is his bike performance chart. So there's no bike rides for him since for before March 27. No bike rides. You can see this is his bike, no bikes, and here is the progression of his training. Purely bike. Next, this is the run, his running sessions. So you would see that his running stopped March 24, then shifted to biking. You can see the progress. Here, the one on top you will see here is the best times or best performance that he had on the bike. Here as well, you would see best times he did on the run. But you would see no running session for almost a month and a half. All right, and he did the 5K time trial somewhere here. Okay, so the journey of this athlete starts March 27 until to date, and his progression. Okay, so he started 238, and his current FTP is 310. Training zone. One key as well is you should be avoiding the most important thing you have to avoid is riding below your recovery zone or riding below 50, 49% or 51%, because those are the junk miles, junk efforts. You don't they will not contribute to building up your FTP. So if you're riding in Zwift, there's a it's controlled, so you would be able to control it much easier. If you're riding outside, just be mindful not to go below your 50% of your FTP. So then as you get comfortable, you can also avoid X and Y zones. X and Y zones are what they call comfortably hard or the mud zone. So it's either easy, either hard. So it's in between. So it's it's not the best place where you want to be, because your body is either tired or either fresh, and you always want to be fresh when you're going to your next session. Sorry. Um, if you're in that session, if you're in that zone, if you want to push on the harder sessions, you can't, because your body is tired. It doesn't know what it should do. So you have to be specific. Key, why this athlete progressed so fast is specificity, consistency in training, and specificity. He stuck to the program, he followed the intervals. That's how he got it. And this athlete, sorry, sorry. And this athlete did a 20-minute 5K time trial with no running, with just minimal running. Then he did the 5K time trial here, this one. So he got all of the fitness from running, from racing in Zwift, and he got the time trial, 20-minute time trial time for 5K. Okay, so if you have any questions, just send it to me. Then I'll be posting this in my YouTube channel. I got a special, what do you call this? Advice from Rachel. So this is pre-recorded, and I'll be sending it to those who would like to review the whole session. Okay, so this is it. Thank you very much, everyone. If you have any questions, PM me directly, or send me a message in WhatsApp in the Zwift Racing account. All right, then. Have a great day, everyone. Take care and God bless. Rage, Z,